welcome back to Reading with Mani. I'm Mani, and today I am telling you where I've been. I know I've been gone for a while. I just posted my choosing my favorites of 2022 video. It also has a journal flip through if you want to go check that out. But yes, I haven't really, I kind of disappeared there for a month. So let me just tell you, I went to New York, as you know, some of you may have known from my previous videos. I was there for like 10-11 days during the holidays, during Christmas and New Year's Eve. It was beautiful, fantastic, magical. I'm gonna insert a few clips here of me just doing all the things I never dreamed I was gonna do, like seeing Moulin Rouge or walking in Central Park, walking on the Brooklyn Bridge. Yes, it was just magical and beautiful. I also bought a lot of books. There's a book haul video coming out as well. Here's a little preview of the bookstores we visited. Yes, it was just I can't believe it's over. Anyway, I arrived back here on the 2nd of January and I spent a few days just cuddling with my cats, and then I went to the beach for a couple of days. It was like a week. What am I saying? I went for like a week to my parents' beach house, basically, to enjoy a bit of sun after being in like minus degrees Celsius, which was new for me. There was no snow though. Back to the video. So before that, I hadn't done a November wrap-up because like life got away from me, and I also need to tell you what I read during December, which was not a lot. So in total, between November and December, I read 10 books. So let's just go over them. I need to see my journal. If any of you have already seen that, you already know what books are gonna come up here, but yeah. So, the first book I read was A Restless Truth by Freya Marski. This is the second one in her Last Binding series, and I had read the first one back in like March, I think, and yeah, I fell in love with the story and the characters and the world, and I had been highly anticipating this. Now I have to wait until this November to read the last one, or the next one. I don't know if it's gonna be 3 actually. I know there's a third one coming out, so yes. Anyway, in this world, if you don't know, I'm just gonna go over very quickly the synopsis for these because otherwise we'll be here forever. So yes, this is magical realism, historical fiction. So we're like turn of the century England, and we follow this civil servant who discovers that there's magic, and yeah, there's a mystery to unravel and a gay romance, and yeah, that's basically it. In the second one, we follow the main character's sister, who is helping her brother and yeah, partner now with the whole mystery thing, secret plot going on in the magical world, although she's not magical, and she's on a boat coming from New York to London. And it's just fantastic. This one has a sapphic romance, and it was funny, it was heartwarming, and so much fun to read. I really recommend this series if you haven't already. Again, first one is A Marvelous Light, and this is A Restless Truth, and I'm so excited for the third one. I gave it 5 stars. Next, I read the third in the ACOTAR series, A Court of Wings and Ruin, Wings and Ruin. I didn't hate it as much as the second one, but still, why is it so long? I don't have to tell you what this is about, but yes, why is it so long? I don't know, and I hated the ending as well. Like, why? I thought we were getting somewhere with like the battles and things, but yeah. You can watch my vlog on it. I think that was the last video I uploaded before I went on my trip, so yes. Moving on, then I read, I actually have a physical copy for this one. I read All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr. I actually had started this at the end of October, I think, and I finished it first days of November. I love this book. It's historical fiction set in World War II. We follow this blind girl who's living in a town in France when the occupation happens, and this soldier in Germany and well, their lives intersect at some point. The structure of this novel is great because we start at like the end and then we go back in time to like when these two people were younger, and yeah, we see their story progressing and how they're going to inevitably, you know, clash because of the war. And it's just a wonderful tale. I love history and the war periods are fascinating to me. So yes, this was a wonderful read. Then I read, what did I read next? Oh, then I went on a sci-fi kick and I read Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I love this book. I was kind of hesitant because I hadn't liked the last one that he published. What was it? Upgrade? I hadn't loved it as much as people said. Blake Crouch, you know, as much as people loved Blake Crouch. I don't know what I'm saying. I did give it 4 stars, but yeah, I was expecting more, and this delivered. This was fantastic. This is about a man who suddenly wakes up and his life is completely different. It's like at some point his life diverged from a choice that he made, and now he's on this other life. So yes, he has to figure out how to get back to his own life and his family. And yes, this is a fantastic read. It's a very interesting take on the whole multiverse kind of thing, multiple dimensions, and the choices that we make and identity. Oh my god, this was fantastic. Exactly what I love about sci-fi, so excellent. And then I wanted more sci-fi, so I read Andy Weir's, I think, second novel? I don't know. It's called Artemis, and it's set on the moon. It was fine. I gave it 4 stars because it was very enjoyable, but it didn't have the same magic as The Martian, which I had absolutely loved. We follow this woman who, you know, smuggles things on the moon, and then she's offered another job doing something much worse. So we kind of had like a whole heist thing, also a mystery thriller kind of thing, but funny. Yeah, I thought it was fine. I gave it 4 stars. Again, it's an entertaining read, but not as magical, not as great as The Martian, in my opinion. And then I read The Charioteer. Where is it? Oh, here. Then I read The Charioteer by Mary Renault. This book, my best friend recommended this to me. This is a classic. It was written in the 1950s, and it's about this soldier who comes back from World War II wounded, and he's in this vet's hospital, and he meets this other man. He's a conscientious objector, meaning that because of his religious beliefs, he does not want to fight. He cannot kill. And yeah, our main character is gay, and he forms this relationship with this guy, but then a childhood friend appears, and well, we kind of go from there with his relationships. This book, I don't even know what to say about this. I had never been more relieved finishing a book than when I was finishing this, because the thing I thought was going to happen didn't happen, and I was like until the last page is like going, please don't do this, please don't do this, and yes, thankfully it didn't. Yeah, it was kind of difficult to read at times because like it's like you're following this guy's point of view, but it's like you don't get all his thoughts, and like you kind of have to piece things together. There's also a lot of slang from that time that it took a while for me to get used to. Yeah, this book took work, which is kind of like the opposite of like the ACOTAR series, for example, which, you know, tells you everything. The foreshadowing is just very blatant. Anyway, this was not. This was the opposite, and it was great. I loved it. 5 stars. Next, we get into December. I actually finished The Charioteer first days of December. And the first book I read was Hamnet, finally. This is Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. It follows Shakespeare's son, Hamnet, and how he dies of the plague, basically, and how Hamlet was inspired by his son's death. At least that's what the author proposes. So it follows Shakespeare, obviously, who is never mentioned by name, which I find, you know, quite interesting. But we mostly follow Shakespeare's wife, Agnes, and her story, and how she falls in love with Shakespeare, and how they form the family, and how when Shakespeare goes to London, how she's left alone with the kids and his parents and things like that. And I thought this was wonderful. I cried. I loved it. Yeah, it's everything I thought it would be, and it did not disappoint. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that. And then I read Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. I really, really wanted to finally get to that book because I knew that it had very good reviews. And after reading Artemis, I was like, no, but I need to. And that book was fantastic. Oh my God. I loved it. I loved it so much. 5 stars. It's the best kind of science fiction. We follow this man who wakes up in this spaceship and he has no memory of why he's there, what is his mission, where is he going. Eventually he pieces it together, but it's just great. And yeah, the story is that there's a threat to the planet, and you know, humanity has pulled all their resources together to try to send this mission on an expedition to try to figure out a solution to what the problem is. And yeah, we follow his trip and his encounter with a very special character, let's say. That's all I'm gonna say. It was so great. It was funny, it was heartwarming, it also made me cry. I don't know, yes, I need someone to make a movie out of this book immediately, okay? Right, and then I started We Spread by Ian Reid. I hadn't read any other Ian Reid books before, and I found this super unsettling. I think I also found it unsettling because I finished this on my flights and waiting in the airport, and you know, yeah, when you're traveling, just yeah, this book was not the book to read while you're like, you know, sleep deprived. But it was very interesting. We follow this woman who, after a fall, she's an old woman, she's put in a retirement home that apparently her husband had set up for her before he died. And it's all very strange. There are 3 other residents in the house, and the 2 people, there's the woman who is in charge, and then there's this other guy. And well, our main character starts losing what's the word? She starts losing awareness, and she doesn't know if what's happening is real or if she's imagining it or hallucinating it, or you know, what time period it is, what day. Like, she loses track of time. Like I said, it's very unsettling. You also feel very unsettled reading it. And yeah, I definitely recommend if you want a weird book. It's also quite short, but yes. And then I was on my trip. I was not reading, but I did actually start a book on a train ride to Philadelphia, because we went to Philadelphia for a day. And I started reading A Court of Frost and Starlight, because it was a short book. It was Christmas themed. So yes, it took me a couple of days to finish it, but I did. I absolutely hated that book. I cannot believe I finished my year reading that. Yeah, I gave it 2 stars. The good thing is that it was short, but my God, that book was bad. It's badly written. Yes. We basically follow Feyre and her gang shopping for presents, which I thought was going to be like a nice, heartwarming thing. Yeah, I had to read endless pages of Rhys being absolutely out of control with his sexual desires, and I just know why. No. That was it. That was my reading in December. I did start reading The Passenger by Cormac McCarthy, but I only got a few pages in. Again, I was reading on the plane, and that's a very weird book. There was one chapter, I read one chapter of it that reminded me a lot of Infinite Jest. Like, you know, when you're reading something and you have no idea what's going on, you don't understand what's happening. Yeah, that was basically it. I am very interested in reading that book, but I needed to pause it. I will get back to it, but yeah, I just haven't felt the urge to pick it up. I actually haven't been reading much in January. I started reading Ulysses by James Joyce, because I thought that was gonna be the big book I would tackle this summer, like last year that I read Infinite Jest. No, I only read like 1 section, and I haven't picked it up since. So yeah, it kind of put me in a slump. I don't know. I also had all this catching up to do here at home, and yeah, I just haven't felt the urge to read that much, honestly. But I did finish one book, and that is Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. It's the second one in the Alex Stern series. The first one is Ninth House. I love this more than I like Ninth House. Like, it was a magnificent sequel. If you haven't read it, yes, go immediately. So yes, that book, in case you don't know, it's about Yale secret societies being magical, and this girl who gets invited to supervise them because she can see ghosts. And well, things go on from there. Yeah. I need the third book immediately. Like, I don't know when Leigh Bardugo is planning to publish that, but I need it. Anyway, I don't know if there's anything else I need to talk about. Oh yes, plans for this channel this year, I guess. I don't know. I am going to try to have like a uploading schedule like booktubers have, but it's kind of hard with my job. I don't know if I can do that. I need to plan my life. I need to plan my life, and yeah, I'm very bad at doing that historically, so we shall see. I set up my Goodreads goal to 75 again. Last year I didn't quite make it. I read 74, but again, I was so close, but then I went on my trip and yeah, it didn't happen. So yes, hopefully this year. January has not been a good start, but last year in January I also only finished 2 books, so we'll see. Not that it matters that much, but yes, it's nice to set up a goal and hit it. It's very exciting. What else? So after this video you will probably see the book haul that I mentioned, and well, my TBR game is also coming up as well for February, and I am planning on filming tomorrow when I have light a video on the 35 books I want to read before I'm 35. I am turning 33 this year, so I have a couple of years to get through that list. I was inspired by Kim from Expedition Through Pages to do this, and yeah, my sister got me one of those scratch off posters, which I think I saw Amy from A-Star Reads also has. Yes, and I'm going through that list and other books I want to read, and we'll see what comes out of that. So those are the immediate plans. But yeah, let me know if there's anything you would like to see on my channel. In particular, I do have that vlog I started last year of me rereading my sci-fi favorites from when I was a teenager, which were all classics. And I haven't edited that yet, and I really should, because I think it's an interesting video. What on earth is that? I don't know, that was very strange. Anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this chatty wrap-up / catch-up video. I don't even know. Let me know if you have read any of the books I just mentioned. And what have you been up to this January? And yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, happy reading.